Hello, one and all, and welcome back to another PinBuilder update. Yay! All right, so this update is going to be pretty good. I think you will enjoy it. We have a lot of new stuff, a lot of little things here and there, and a couple of big things. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into that. Down here on the rooms list, you'll see that there's a new one, and this one is going to evolve over time. It's just a nice space to allow you to get a sort of a bright area to view your machine in, and it's a little bit foggy at the moment, but as I said, that'll evolve over time. The other two rooms, this one probably won't change a whole lot. And although it might, you never know. And this one has not changed recently, but our shop has actually changed slightly. So you'll see that when you go in there. Also, while I'm in here, I just wanted to give a shout out to Max for Cubert's Quest. You guys, if you haven't gone to the Steam Workshop via the PinBuilder page on Steam, your game launch page, just click on the workshop icon and then go find Cubert's Quest. It's a lot of fun. Well done, Max. It's really cool. A lot of great sounds and images, and the flippers are a trip, and a lot of fun, so check that one out. We've fixed a few things visually in the menu system. The button text is now nice and clear and clean. If you click on settings, you'll see that there's a new panel design in the menu here. And you will notice that there is no apply video settings or display settings button here. Now, when you click these buttons to adjust the settings, they automatically save. Also, while we're in here, I'd like to point out that if you have performance issues, it's probably because of shadows, because we use dynamic shadows to a great extent in the game for the highest levels of realism. And if you have older hardware that, especially like an older GPU or graphics card, shadow quality, you might want to keep that down. I just keep it on low, and that gives me really great frame rates. You'll also see over here we have enabled DMD in a separate window. Don't worry about that right now. It doesn't do anything yet, and it may be just simply removed because the DMD in our game displays on the back box when it's displayed on the second display. And speaking of that, when would you want to use that? Well, that would be when you're in cabinet mode and you have two displays set up to make it look like a playfield in front of you as on a real pinball machine at that angle. And a second monitor typically turned 90 degrees to the right or left. I think usually to the right probably. And that one is used as a backbox display. So that's how we have this game set up, PinBuilder. So if you want to start off in cabinet mode, you can just click this button, and this gives your whole PinBuilder, PinBuilder is like a whole new experience in that mode, because basically the mode is designed to run on a virtual pinball machine, which is almost exactly like a regular one, except instead of a physical playfield, it is a graphic display, and the game runs on that. So let's just go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and start in cabinet mode, and that saved already, so I'm just going to go back and quit. And when I come back into the game, so now I'm going to go restart the game. Here it comes, and you'll see it pop up into cabinet mode, which is this one. And now, if you'll notice here, it says to exit game, hold down both flipper buttons for 5 seconds. So if I do that, it's going to show a message, and it'll say to exit the game, hold the start button, that's the T button, or tap to cancel. So if I just tap it, it'll go away. And now let me hold down the flipper buttons again. And now I'll just hold it down and you'll see that it's counting down. And now I can let up on it and it's just doing it by itself. But if I tap T again, it'll cancel out of that. So let's see, I'm going to use the flipper buttons, the right one to go to the right, etc., etc. And then I'm just going to hit the credit button or the start button to jump into the game. And it's going to jump into it in this state here and with this overhead view. So what you can't see right now is on my second monitor, I have a view of the entire back box. And it fills most of the screen, but it would also include a DMD if it were enabled on the back box for this game. But essentially you would stand down there at the right. And another thing, I'm going to go ahead and start a game, and you'll notice the flipper mechanism sounds are far spread to the left and right, and that's so you can set up sound haptic feedback using Dolby Surround, or just surround sound, whatever surround you want to use, or stereo even if you wanted to. So this is cabinet mode, and then if you hit the escape button, so the standard buttons on any old pinball machine that you might see outside in the real world would have 2 flipper buttons and a credit button. And so if I hit escape, which isn't a common one, you could put that on the door of your machine, I suppose. And then I hit the T button or credits, I can change to the next one. And it'll just switch to that one and load it up. And then you can play that one too. This is one I have been working on and have not yet added any logic and stuff to it, but I do plan to upload this to the Steam Workshop soon, obviously. I think you can tell what this is. I would like to now go ahead and show you how to get out of this mode. So while the game is in this spot right here in play mode, you can press the tab key, which would be an input key that you would not want your players to have access to, really. And by the way, too, I wanted to show you how different this looks if we change the texture or the shadow quality to ultra. So you can see a lot more detailed shadows all over. All those bulbs have individual shadows and everything. But the game will run a little bit slower frame-wise for me in that situation. So let's see, I'll just go back to low and we'll go back here, and it still looks really good. Okay, so once you're in this mode, all you need to do is just go to settings. I'm going to change the shadow quality to low, and I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to go back and I'm going to quit because I want to just get back into the regular PinBuilder mode. So here it comes. And I wanted to, so let's just make sure that's fine. Yeah, I wanted this to be set to high. All right. So I want to show you a couple of things we've done under the hood, as it were, in the editor, and some cool new logic options that we have added. So if we scroll way down here to the right, you'll see the new thruster. So this is a thruster, and the arrows point in the direction of thrust. So let me just get rid of that one. And you can see these two over here. So I'll show you how those work in a second if you don't know already. But basically they're just power thrusters that give some thrust to the ball while they're in there. And then let's see, you'll notice these two magnets. These are new. I don't think this one is hooked up, but here's where they are, here on this selection ribbon down here. And the way we can hook these up and use them is pretty straightforward. So I have a few different things here. Let me turn this light on. Why is that? Oh, I'm in rotate mode, that's why. Okay, so I'm going to grab this insert light, and I want you to see that there's a light there. And we'll turn it back off. And we have this magnet. The light will indicate that the magnet is lit. And we're going to just roll the ball over that switch to turn the magnet on. And then we'll roll over this switch to turn the magnet off. But there's a few logic controllers required for this, so let's take a look at that. All right, so here we have the switch controller. So this controller is triggered by that switch as indicated by this red arrow. And in order to do that, you just select the switch and tell it which controller you want it to fire. And that will send a pulse signal to this logic controller, and then you can set that logic controller up to do stuff. Currently, it is not pointing at anything, so nothing else does anything. But there's a reason for that, because I wanted to show you the new effects that we have added, which is the point fountain. And it's going to take this number and sprinkle it or spray it or spew it out from this point here, wherever you put this logic controller. So I want to put it there on that switch, and I'm going to save it. And we're going to go in here and start a game. And when I press B to spawn a ball, it may or may not spawn above the switch. It might spawn down lower, but let's see. Yeah, see that one spawned down there. Okay, there we go. Yay! So you can see it plays the sound. It'll score the points, and see it scores 10 points each time. All right. So that scores 10 points each time. So basically that switch is firing that controller. And wherever you put the controller is where those points will spawn. So I'm just going to leave it right there. And now I'm going to set it up to fire a pulse to this controller. And what this controller is going to do is it's going to turn this magnet on with this new event type magnet. So you pick the event type, which is magnet. And then the completion type is magnet on or mag on. And then holding down shift and then left clicking on the magnet will connect it. So now it knows which magnet to turn on. So it'll turn that magnet on. And then it's going to fire, this logic controller will then fire a pulse to this mag light on. And that mag light on is basically just a simple switch with actually shouldn't even be any points at all. Or no, you could say, you know, you get another 20 points or 25 points when you light that. And that light comes on. And so that's that one. And you do the shift click. And you can unclick them too by just clicking on them. So now you'll see how this works. And that's going to energize that magnet. As long as this light is lit, the magnet, that means that the magnet is on. And then when we roll over this switch, it triggers magnet reset, which turns the magnet off. And then that also triggers this to turn that off. So it'll switch it off. So let's watch this and see how this does. Let's get rid of that. Oops. All right, so. All right. Just need to hit that switch. There we go. But I already ran over Why is it not working? All right, there is something awry with our logic here for some reason. Did I forget to hook something up? Ah, yes, I did. I did not hook this main switch up, so it's not firing off the magnet. All right, actually, you know what, too? I want to delete this spawner because I only want balls to spawn above that, because otherwise it kind of makes it harder to debug. Let's go ahead and set this to magnet. Now it's set right. Now that's firing that, and that's going to fire that. And there we go. All right. Now it should behave as expected. And when I spawn a ball, it'll spawn over that switch, turn on the light, and it may or may not grab it. Ah, it did. All right, and we can just keep spawning balls. And they'll just keep sticking. And when we hit this bottom switch, it'll turn it off and release the balls. All right, so you get the idea. You can see how the magnet works. Okay, so let's see. I want to show you another thing. So I'm just going to disable that magnet thing again. That way that's not turning on and causing a distraction, I guess. And we can move this guy out of the way. And I want to show you the new flipper control option for Logic. And if we go back here, we'll see here is a controller that is connected to this insert light. And the completion type, well, this is a toggle. So the event type is a toggle, meaning that when it fires, it turns an item on. And then if it's on, it'll turn it off. So it just toggles it between states. And so in order to decide that we want this flipper button, the left flipper input button, to toggle this on and off, all we need to do is select flipper input left. Or you could also use flipper input right if you wanted to use that. Let's see. Let's set this one up. This will be flipper input right. And let's add a one of these guys. Let's just see what we can do with this. Make it kind of look cool. I want a different color. Let's go. Yeah, orange is cool. What do we have here? Yeah, that's kind of neat. All right. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking different ideas here. All right, whatever. It doesn't even matter. So I'm going to connect that to that, holding shift, left clicking. And every time I press the right flipper button, it's going to fire this controller because it's connected here. It's connected to the flipper input. And it's going to make this laser shoot sound. And we're going to toggle this light on and off. And then this one is going to basically do the same thing. It's going to accept the left flipper input. It'll do this laser shoot sound. And it'll toggle this light on and off. So I'm just going to leave this one on and that one off. And let's go try this. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to spawn any balls. I'm just going to press flipper buttons. Started the game. All right, here's the left flipper button. So as you can see and hear, it turned that insert light on and it played the laser fire noise. And now the right one. All right, so there you go. So you can enable flipper control for some logic if you see a need for that. And I do want to say that we are also looking at adding a lot more options for logic here in the near future, just to give you as many possible ways of logicking things out on the playfield. And while we're in here, I'm going to turn these lights down. And I want to show you the way these thrusters work. So I'm going to launch the ball from the trough up through the rails here. So whatever color you select for those is the color that they will fire the ball off at, or with, or whatever. And you can press the R button to reset the ball into the trough if you would like. So I just pressed R and it pops it back over there. I like that. It's pretty cool. All right. Okay, so those are some of the new things. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Well, there might be some new stuff in here that you may not have seen yet. Actually, that you won't have seen until you run the update. I am trying to think if there's anything else. I know there's a ton of stuff behind the scenes that we updated. We did do some improvements as far as performance goes in some areas. And let's see. Trying to think if there's anything here that we needed to talk about. I don't think so. Yeah. We've gone through all that. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Oh, I know one thing we could do. Let's see. Let's open this Star Trek up. And let's open up this field here. Okay, so this is basically just a simple outside scene. It's disturbingly simple, really. It's kind of lame, actually. But don't worry, we're going to add more to it over time. We just don't want to kill the frame rate of the game, so we're just going to kind of leave it like that. But we did want to give you a spot where you had some light. This can get extremely bright, which is ridiculous, but it is kind of a nice, just general illumination that gives you sort of a nice view of your playfield and stuff, in terms of giving you some kind of just ambient light to work with rather than the darkness of space or the darkness of an arcade room. That is, we're working on a lot of these technical things right now that we do expect will kind of be done with at some point, as far as like setting everything up to use the game like a for a virtual cabinet and stuff like that. And then we can focus more on other more fun stuff, to be honest. Like working on UI stuff is just not so much fun, but but it is important. So anyway, this is something that I hope to have ready for you guys to play not too long from now. And I guess really that's all I have to share. And we at the Propulsion Studios would like to thank you guys for supporting PinBuilder and being as excited about it as we are. We know you enjoy these updates, and we do too. And we look forward to adding some more fun stuff. If you have any suggestions or ideas, please don't hesitate to shoot them at us. I would say that the Facebook page, our Facebook page, is probably one of the best spots to do that. That's really where we, it's kind of easiest for us to get that quickly. But anyways, that's not to say we can't anywhere else, I guess. But anyways, I'm rambling. I'm going to leave it to you guys. Download this update, enjoy the magnets and the other options, and we'll look forward to making some other cool new stuff for you soon. Which reminded me, is there... yeah, check this one out. This is kind of cool. I got to show you this before I go. I set this up recently, and it is just one of the... it's one of the thrusters, but if you press... Oh, I forgot that I moved the ball. So you can build for second levels, and if we grab this ball and we press the 4 key to turn on, upper playfield mode, then it will put the object up, so I can put it right here. And now, when I go back and press the ball spawn button, it'll go ahead and shoot one through there. Which is kind of fun, you know. I don't know. I could sit here for hours doing this, probably, which is pretty silly. Actually, I do sit here for hours doing this. Not just shooting balls down the drain, but I just wanted to show you that because that is one of those silly things you can do with the game. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to building is a rotator that you could mount something like this onto, and it would just rotate that and like fire stuff out of there or whatever. You could move that down to the playfield level if you wanted to. Let's see. Oh no, that is the playfield level. That's right. Because if we did, if we did the upper, it would put it up higher. But then the problem with that is that we can't put one of these up higher than that. That reminds me of one last thing I wanted to mention to you guys, and that is we're also in the process of adding a grabber tool to things so that when you grab them, instead of having just an upper and lower, you will be able to slide them up and down on a grabber plane. So I hope that makes sense. If not, don't worry about it, and you'll see what I'm talking about soon enough. Anyways, this has been Anna, and thank you again. You guys, just love having your support. Thank you so much. Happy holidays. I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas, and we'll try to get out some more fun stuff before the end of the year. And until then, happy pin building.